Think.
Got it.
Okay.
I mean, what? I thought about it. What's the point if like we can't hear the clap in the audio? What's the point of syncing it?
You know what? We'll figure it out.
You're gonna figure it out. You're our editor.
Okay,
Okay.
fine. Okay, 这样啊。Hi, welcome to Thinkpui Podcast. I'm Joy, and today I'm here with Hlui and Vanlal.
Hey, we can introduce ourselves.
Yes, you should.
This is
So go
not your
ahead.
channel anymore, Joy. This is not your
It's your
channel
boss
anymore.
Joy. This is
Okay,
Thinkpui.
this is yes. Go ahead.
I'm Hlui.
That's it.
What else am I supposed to say?
I am Vanal Rokum. Vanal Rokum, Vanlal. Depends on where you know me from. People usually call me Vanlal, statistically, but
Mhm. And I'm
now
Joy.
He's your boss Joy. If y'all didn't
Also
know
known
that.
as at your boss Joy, on all social media platforms. So
we've
Including
lost like
YouTube.
we've lost 2 listeners till here.
Okay, so should we talk about what our show is about? What is Thinkpui about? Vanil, would you wanna explain? Would
I
you wanna
mean, it's not a show. It's not a show. It's more like we're bored. We just want to make a podcast, and we're like, hey, let's make a podcast. And now here we are. We're making a podcast, and we decided to call it Thinkpui. Uh,
Mhm.
how do you spell that again?
It's
Thinkpui?
Thinkpui.
Thinkpui.
So, so,
The reason we called it
no, I'm
Thinkpui.
waiting for one of you guys to like
when
talk
jump in.
and
I
yeah,
didn't
Okay,
want
I
to.
jump
jumped
in.
in. The
I
reason we
didn't want
called
to
it
overlap too much.
No, because I thought, Joy, you're used to this. You're used to making videos. You're supposed to at least, like,
Um,
hi, I'm taking over.
yes.
I'm taking over.
No, I don't want to be the I'm taking over thing. You already shut me up after I introduced us, so I didn't want to overlap. Ah,
so
all right.
the reason why we called it Thinkpui is because we're mixing two languages that we know well, which is like Mizo and English, and then think as in think, and Thinkpui means it comes from Thinkpui, which is T in Mizo. So it's like, wow, we're smart bunny people. Thinkpui.
Yeah, it's a double entendre on the word. If I'm
Double
using it
That
right,
that
entendre.
I'm not sure.
expla- that explanation was worse than my DU teachers giving me explanations for certain
Uh,
Hey, at
subjects.
least I tried,
And
okay? Not like you going,
well, we did think about it. We did try to think a lot about how like what to name our podcast first, and we wanted to bring out a certain part of our identity in it. So Thinkpui is tea, which the three of us are always most of the time drinking whenever we meet up. And I mean, we are in a tea culture itself. We just
ooh, tea.
tea is there, very prominent in our culture, whether be it just India or just among the Mizos. So Thinkpui itself was a we said okay,
And also,
works with it.
and also, we couldn't think of anything else. We
and
wanted to stick
Yeah.
to a
also we're
tea.
spilling some tea here. Are we? Are we
Yes.
not?
But we also wanted to give out
Some
some valuable stuff to it, so we said, you know what? Think Pui kind of makes sense a little bit. It's really funny. It was a joke at first. We
It,
got
it,
it.
it was like a gag name. We were like,
Hmm.
haha, this name is so funny. Think Pui, haha.
It's so
And
lame.
then we couldn't think of anything else, so we ended up with Think Pui.
Exactly.
So
But
what is the podcast gonna be about, guys? What are we gonna talk about here?
So the idea was to have like guests, but sit like, so we call prominent guests. We just chat with them, have tea with them, and talk to them about their lives or, something, just have a basic chat with them. But since this is our first episode,
Woohoo!
woohoo,
Yeah,
first
yeah.
episode.
The essential idea was to like get interesting people and subjectively, objectively interesting people, like not like more like people you would want to know more about them, more about their personal lives, and where they are, how they got there, and hopefully the guests we can bring are interesting to the listeners. Ha ha ha.
If
Um,
they aren't, we're interesting enough, hopefully. We'll
yeah,
keep you entertained.
and that's how we lost all our listeners right now.
I'm pretty sure we have only like one listener right now. Thank you for staying loyal, whoever you
Thank
are.
you. Thank you,
Thank you.
whoever you are.
Thank you. Please like and subscribe, subscribe,
Sarah, Sarah Barkribe.
Subscribe.
Ah,
Now, like many people, we were just at in our rooms like, hey, let's start a podcast. Let's make a t-shirt brand. And we've been seeing that a lot during this quarantine lockdown. I've seen a lot of thrift stores open, a lot of podcasts also.
yeah.
We're not copying them, they're copying us. We're the original ones.
But it's also fun to do something with friends, especially during these times. Because I think a lot of the other projects are very individual based sometimes, but
Hmm.
just like doing it with friends is also fun. And we've been talking about doing something together for a long time. We've always wanted
That
to. It's
10th
a long
grade, like,
story.
hey, let's start a business together. I've got a business idea.
Mm-hmm. It started with business ideas. It started with blogs. He wanted to write a blog, and then wanted to sell T-shirts at one point. So now we're here. We said it's now or never. We just have to do it, and
I mean,
here we are.
it is a good time to start.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
even during the pandemic, like I said, you have
Exactly.
a lot of small entrepreneurs, micro businesses, and a lot of people going, creating YouTube channels. Yeah, pretty much. And this is our way to bring ourselves to the world,
Mm-hmm.
to the world.
And we had to
Please like and
start the
subscribe.
podcast. We had to stick to it because Vandal bought a mic. We had to stick to it.
There was no escaping. Vana bought a mic. Eventually, I got a mic. Louis got a whole new laptop. So he said, "All right, this is it. We're
We've
Gotta
sticking
do
to
already
it.
this."
made the investments. We
Yes.
did not want them to be sunk costs.
Yes. But yeah, I think this podcast could talk most about yeah, having casual conversations with the guests that we bring here, but also just like talking briefly about how it's been for us and how the few experiences we've had too. Like common experience would be with
Hmm.
college life, Delhi life, um, millennial generation Z life, and pretty much about anything.
You know how like Asian Americans talk about, having that dual identity of being like
Mm-hmm.
American Asian. I feel like we have the same thing because technically we live in Delhi, but we're from like another state, which are like poles apart. And
Mm-hmm.
that also is something that we could really talk about because, we were born and brought up in Delhi, but we're from Mizoram. So we feel like outsiders in both places.
Yeah,
And
it's a really interesting, experience to be brought up in Delhi. But they're like, "Oh, you're from Mizoram. How is it there?" And I'm like, "Bro, I was born in Delhi." And
then you go
yeah,
to Mizoram and you're like, oh, you're also Mizo. Oh yeah, but I was born and brought up in Delhi. And they're like, it's a whole different experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something interesting about us, you could say.
is it
It's what
interesting
brought
though?
Is
it's
it?
what brought us together. It's what brought our families
Yeah,
together.
definitely brought us all together.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
think
What?
Go ahead.
You interrupted me, bro? Come on, it's your turn. Yeah, you interrupted me. Go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So there's one question that I can never answer that my peers at school usually ask me. What dishes do you have in Mizoram? Like, is there any special dishes that you cook there that we can try? And I'm like,
Mm.
bekang.
Bekang is
Yes.
one.
And they're like, what's that? And like, what is it actually?
It's fermented
It's
soybeans, I think.
the
Right?
best. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's fermented soybean.
Now
It's
I
very
sound ignorant.
similar.
We say,
Yeah, it's
you
very
spoke,
similar to the Japanese natto.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's more or less the same thing. It's just like their types of soybean, I think. So our type of
Hmm.
soybean and how they ferment it is different also. But
Exactly.
it's typically the same thing.
It smells like shit.
We
It's
have
fermented.
saum.
Yeah.
Saum is what my mom likes to call miso butter. It's
Mm-hmm.
fermented pork fat, and they add that to everything, like
Mm-hmm.
to all the bites.
Also smells like shit.
See, the
Mm-hmm.
smellier the
But it's
better.
good.
The smellier the better.
Uh, I mean, we had durian, I mean, some form of durian, and I didn't like it.
Exactly. The thing with smells and food is like you have to get used to how it is. I'm sure people who have durian in their life or like from their childhood, they're used to it. And we're used to certain food items too. Funnily enough, the smell of kimchi is like really bad to my flatmates here. So I really have to be careful. I need to eat and like open up the can as fast as possible and close it and put it back
Kimchi
because they
doesn't
can't stand
smell, does
kimchi.
it?
It
See,
does.
for us, it's like it doesn't smell that bad, but for people who are not used to it, it smells so bad. So that's the same thing for everyone, I guess.
I mean, relative to you guys and many others,
Mhm.
I'm not used to
Mhm.
miso dishes much. Like I'm used to butter chicken, butter naan, and all the chicken
The
tikkas.
North Indian food,
Yeah,
really.
that's my jing. Biryani.
I
So
like both. I have like favorites in both. But then I would say I'm more accustomed to like Indian, the masala-ness of everything because
Mhm.
that's what we grew up eating here. And
Yeah.
when I think of like home food, I think of rice with the side of tandoori chicken, which is
yeah, we love rice though. Like as Mizos, we love rice. Like we put it's like we don't
it's the
have
main
things with
dish.
rice. Like
It's the main
rice is
dish
with
all the
everything.
time.
That made sense.
Vanal
Hmm.
once said, "Rice with rice is so good." And he
That makes us
literally had
pretty
just a
Asian.
bowl. Just had a bowl of rice with rice. And he's like,
It, it was fried rice with boiled rice. So
All
Wow.
at
right,
least there's some variety to
fair
it.
enough.
Uh, however, I have an exam in a month. In a month and 10 days, I think.
How is it going? Is it just assignments? Is it actual exams? How is
It
DU doing it?
it's exams, like normal exams, but it's going to be online exams.
Oh yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
then
Where do you
the
sorry, you
question
go, Louis.
the question is, will they be able to conduct exams for like more than 3,000, 5,000 students? Like they did it before with the graduating batch, but the thing was that what there were a lesser number of people, and on top of that, the way they conducted was they gave them the question, they wrote it, and then they had to submit it to an email. And I don't,
Ah,
which did
okay.
not make sense. That's not how you give exams.
That's that's like a take-home
Uh,
exam. Even we have that sometimes, like take-home
no, they were
exams.
pretty transparent about it. They were like, it's an
Mm-hmm.
open book exam. You write it, you upload it. We give you time to upload it.
Mm.
And there were certain problems with my friends that they were like, okay,
Yeah, like
we
sometimes
had these problems, but it was easy, blah blah blah. But it's a task for the
Mm-hmm.
administration to be able to handle. Now they will handle two batches of students, and we'll see how that goes.
I think we should also tell our listeners which college we're in, just in
Oh,
case.
right.
Not sure what we're studying, which year.
Louis, you start.
So I'm in Lady Shriram College for Women, also known as LSR. I'm in my third year. I'm doing journalism. Yeah.
And I am currently studying in SRCC, Sri Ram College of Commerce, New Delhi. I'm currently in my third year. I'm currently in my third year studying BCom, and I'm in my fifth semester.
hmm And I am in Radboud University in Netherlands. I'm currently doing my
Nijmegen.
mas Nijmegen.
Nijmegen.
Nijmegen, Netherlands. And I'm doing my master's in creative industries. But I was in Lady Shriram College as well. I was doing English honors and
Ooh.
She was my
ooh.
Uber driver to college, and now she's not here.
Yes, Louis and I went to college together. And I'd pick her up and I'd drop her bag. I'd hang out at her place after college.
And we
We'll have
drank
tea.
tea.
Tea, we'd have dinner, we'll go back. Then the next day was the same thing. But that
I
was
was never
fun.
invited.
You
Because
were in North Campus.
You were in North Campus.
You were in North Campus life. We were South Campus life.
Guys, don't forget to look at into your cameras.
I keep on looking. I feel like I'm going
Stop
cockeyed. Like,
neglecting, stop
hi.
neglecting your primary camera.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're on a Zoom call, but we're also recording.
Hey, don't tell them our secrets.
Say
Are
hi
you
to your.
supposed to be secret? What if they're confused?
Yeah, the reason why we keep on looking here and here is because you're recording here and we're on Zoom call here. Like, just
Yeah, I
saying.
mean
Alright.
it's funny because recording podcasts remotely, um,
Mm.
people think it's a task. Some people do use Zoom, but there are some other softwares, Clean Feed, Zencaster. But at the end, after testing all the softwares, Zoom ended up being the best. So
Yeah.
we ended up using Zoom as our audio,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and yeah, pretty much.
Well, we do
Yes.
have any like more talking prompts in
Yeah.
case we don't know what to talk about.
But I was
This.
just thinking if there was no corona, would we even have a podcast? Would we even think of starting a
Hmm.
podcast? Because I was thinking of that while I was pooping today. And I was like, oh, we're recording today. Yay, for the first time. Would we even have a podcast if the Rona wasn't
I don't
there?
know.
Mm.
It's
I mean, probably we would be like, "Chalo,
Mm.
let's start a podcast," and then we'd, what would you say?
you wouldn't have bought a mic for sure.
Bro, money would have gone to the DU Street Food, North Campus,
Mm-hmm.
and for 3 4 months we would be procrastinating, contemplating about, okay, what are we going to talk about, and then just slide, let the idea of a podcast eventually slide.
Yeah, just like all our business ideas did. But that's the interesting part. Like, how different would things have been if it wasn't for coronavirus at this
I mean,
point?
not just for our podcast, but life in
Mm-hmm.
general. We don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, it
We
led
can't
up
say.
to this moment that we're finally sitting down, finally bought a mic, and we're finally just like recording it all.
Yeah, but the thing with college students and the pandemic right now
Hmm.
is people, the students have been able to introspect.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot more time with ourselves now. So that's why it's
Yeah,
like,
they're introspecting about, what we're going to do with our lives.
yeah.
Where are we going to be? What career path do we want? And I think the three of us are at that stage in our lives where we, decide about, okay, what do we want to do? Do you want
Mm-hmm.
to study
Like,
further, get a job, get placed,
hmm. Like I remember
UPSC?
last year. Around this time was when the three of us used to call each other every night at 3 a.m. for
Oh
us,
yeah.
and which messed up my sleep cycle just before my exams.
Yes.
And we
You're welcome.
talk all night about, I don't remember, but we just talked all night, mainly introspecting and,
Mm-hmm.
analyzing ourselves and each other. I think that was one of the main things that led up to this podcast as well. That,
That's
how the
true.
three of us were always on a video call because only the three of us used to stay up that late. All our other friends were asleep.
All our
Now they're
friends.
feeling left out. We don't like you.
No,
Don't
all
feel
our other
left out,
friends had a
guys.
job.
One of our friends had a
Joy never wanted you guys to be a part of the video calls.
Joy,
Just saying.
you're the one who bought the mic. You're you're the final contract here.
You have a mic as well.
Because of you. So
I can
yeah,
buy a
So yeah.
shout out to all our other friends who aren't a part of this, but um I think it's mainly because last year, uh after we went to Bali, I think that became a really good bonding
Yeah,
opportunity for all of us. And then eventually when I
Bali.
moved,
Bali.
yes, Bali.
Bali.
We should talk about that too,
Bali.
either in this podcast or in another one.
We should have one
No, there's
episode where we invite a
no,
bunch of our friends, but we're gonna have to
no,
really
I
time that
blah, 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 blah.
and talk about Bali and traveling
Blah,
together with
blah.
friends. You should
See,
do it on.
Bali needs a series. Okay, we won't be able to do it in one episode. We won't be able to do it in half an episode. So we need a series for Bali because
That's
a
true.
lot went down.
Mm.
And if you want to find out, stay tuned.
And comment on our socials that you want a Bali episode, and if we have more than 50 comments about Bali, we'll actually do it.
50, bro.
50.
I would make an episode with like one comment. If one comment says we want a
Dude,
Bali episode, you
no,
will
no,
get
no,
a
no,
Bali
no.
episode.
No, there's gonna be at least one for sure. So that's why I said
Hmm.
50. 50.
Probably be one of our friend. One of our friends just commenting.
Yeah. So, okay, 20. If
Mm-hmm.
20 comments
Three.
say, okay, if
Oh,
My
20
okay.
comments,
my
20,
standards are
20.
pretty low. Three,
Hey, aim high, dream
four and a
high.
half.
We do have three other friends who will be commenting.
Let's
We
think
have
of
three
all of
friends
them.
left.
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
That's about it. But yeah, coming back to the point, last November, we stayed up, the three of us, the most, because I was always 3 or 4.5 hours behind. And Louis and Vanna would stay up the most because they were also like still college kids. Um, the rest of our friends had a job, had some exams
Actually,
coming up.
one of them has a job.
Oh yes,
Others just didn't want to talk to us at 3 a.m.
they were just yeah. They
They're
knew
losers.
They
they had other things to do.
they had priorities unlike us.
But yeah, I think the three of us were able to bond even more during that. And then eventually it has led up to this moment. And we were like, you know what? It's the three of us. We're probably gonna end up doing something together.
We're the most
And we did.
interesting people in the group.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't.
say that either. Like, I never thought of such things.
I have a screenshot. If this goes into the final episode, I don't know. But I have screenshots proving that y'all said it.
No, but I don't know about if we're like the most interesting people. But the funny thing is, ever since we were little, ever since Sunday school days or Mizoku days, like all of us have been a part of something. We either danced all together, sang together,
Yeah, I sang.
and
I was the lead singer.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was amazing.
it just makes sense that we're still doing things together even now. That's so sweet though. I was thinking about it the other day. It's so sweet how we're still friends and still making things together.
That's bullshit.
Actually, we always left out Vanzal.
She's not
Yeah.
surprised.
We just kicked out Vanlal mostly, but now he's a part of us.
Yeah, but now that all of us have had the time to again introspect and think about our careers. What are we gonna do? Like, what are you guys gonna like? Do you guys have any plans?
For
Oh,
the future, or for tomorrow, or for next year?
is
Mm,
is it a rhetoric question? Do we have to answer it at this point?
yeah. I
It's
mean,
like
I
The
think
question.
as much as we don't wanna, what would you say, address the question, I think we have to address the question because
well,
I'm gonna pass out college in like
Both
seven
of us
months,
are.
eight
Both
months,
of us.
yeah.
I would say yeah.
and
No,
like
three of us are, I think.
You're gonna be done
so.
with your masters. I'm gonna be. Me and
Oh
Walter
Yeah.
are gonna be
crap!
done with
I'll be done a
college.
little like a month later, maybe.
Hmm.
A month or
Yeah.
2 months later. Yeah.
Placement season has also started. My friends are like, "Bro, are you doing any placements, bhai? And are you taking any exams, UPSC? Bro, what's the plan?" And I'm like, "Hmm, I'm going to study for my semester exams right now. The rest is
See,
It will come.
another thing with this whole Rona thing has taught me is like it's okay. You can make plans for the future. I had so many huge plans for 2020. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, but then I did nothing this whole year. So, like my motto of just think about the next month of what you're gonna do the next month is really sticking to me, and it's really helped me get through this whole Rona depression. But yeah, like I do have plans for what I want to do later after I'm done with college, but I also have backup plans so that in case those plans don't come fall through, I not as disappointed as I would be.
Hmm. Should we talk
I
about what these plans are,
mean,
maybe?
the
Like a
thing
little bit.
is,
A
there's been a
little.
lot of pressure, especially
Hmm.
during this pandemic, to stay productive, do something.
Oh,
You,
just
you won't get time like this, do something, or like make something of yourself, study, or like, you know. And I think you don't have to necessarily do something because it's your time, it's your life. You know the consequences, etc.
it's my life, whatever I wanna do. It's my
It's
life,
my life,
whatever.
wherever. I don't. Yeah, so the point
Whatever.
being,
Whatever.
oh God. So like your decisions, your life, cliche.
It's
It's a
my
cliche.
life.
It's my life.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So
I
the
want
cliche
to.
being your decisions at the end of the day make you. So I guess it could start with us making this podcast. And because I think the three of us have this thing in common that we want to work in the creative industry or like the
Media. Something to
media,
Media.
do with media. Yeah.
hmm like not finance, not science, not engineering. I
In
mean,
my
being in
words, not
mhm.
stuck in an office all day. I don't like my biggest fear is living the rest of my life in a desk job and having a repetitive life. Like
I mean,
thinking about it, I'm just
that's fine.
that stresses me
That's
out more than not knowing what I'm gonna do. Like thinking about, you know, like my
Hmm.
future is sitting in a desk all day. Like no offense
I
to the
mean,
corporate world people, y'all are doing amazing, but that's not for me.
I
And
mean it that's fair. Like when people say 9 to 5, I wouldn't mind 9 to 5 if it's something that I love doing, right?
yeah,
Because
and if it's something that will be new, like every day having to do something new, being somewhere new, learning something new,
Hmm.
that's what I want from my life. Not,
Hmm.
having like, yeah, a stable job, but what I think of like as a desk job is go to office, crunch numbers, blah blah blah, and then do that the next day and do that for the next month and the next year. I can't imagine myself doing that. I did an
Louis,
internship like
Louis,
that and I was shit.
Louis is saying crunch numbers as if she can crunch numbers.
My math.
I don't want to crunch numbers and stick in the office.
But can
Eh,
you?
But can you? But yeah, being in the
Mm.
commerce college, I know that I don't want to do finance, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I want to do. I mean, maybe management, maybe marketing, social media, digital, but
Mm.
not finance. So I
Yeah.
don't know what I want to do, but I know what I don't want to do, and I think that's an important step.
That
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
It, it's good to like not only know what you want to do because that's like so vast, but at least
Oh,
know what you don't want to do as well. And that's where you should try to experience as many things as possible, do as many things as possible, so that you know what you like, what you don't like, sort of tally it off.
You say
yeah, it's
I
And
like
experience things, but do you
yeah,
really experience things? Because you don't really experience things until you actually
yes,
go and experience things. That
yeah,
made sense.
exactly. Shout out to Kendall
mhm.
Jenner for making sense.
You rock
I
my
mean,
world.
at the end, it's like how Gary Vaynerchuk put it. You don't know your favorite dish until you've tried many
Hmm.
of the dishes. So you need to have tried enough of things in maybe internships, maybe working with a family friend, or like just doing something, your college
Yeah.
societies. So you need to know you need to have done enough to know what you don't want to do, even if you don't exactly know what you want to do. And I don't
Hmm.
want to do finance
That
and
makes sense. That's fine. I think for me, it's more like uh, I'm not sure what line I'll go into, but I have realized, might sound very cliche, that I like being my own boss. So it's
I
my
want to be my
Instagram,
own boss.
my Instagram name is your at your boss joy.
just
Haha,
quick
I
shout
like to
out.
be my own
Haha.
boss. Haha.
But that's kind of true because it's just like when there's someone controlling you about what you should do, how things should be done, I just don't, I just think that really sort of stops my creativity or that flow in a in a certain amount. So for me, that's why I kind of like doing YouTube, making my own stuff, and that's why I think I want to go into media, or and that's also why entrepreneurship is so interesting to me, because you do everything by yourself, for yourself, like on your own, get it, instead of
Mhm.
sort of having to slave under somebody else's ideas or
I
projects.
wouldn't call it slave.
Okay, not
That's a bit
slave away,
harsh.
work under.
Mm.
Work under, because I think oftentimes it's like your vision might not be the same as other people's vision. And then again, if you want to sort of create something with people in a group, it's also really hard to coordinate with other people too, and just like sort of stick to the same thing that you want to do. Like even with just the three of us, it was hard to coordinate to as to what we really wanted out of it, how to go about it. But it just takes so much work for that. But at the same time, just like Louis is scared of being stuck in a corporate world.
Scared of
I'm
stuck.
scared of being stuck.
Scared of ducking.
Scared of being stuck. Scared of stucking in the
Scared of
corporate world.
stucking. I'm scared of stucking, guys. I'm scared of stucking
Like
in a
Like
corporate
that.
world.
I'm scared
I,
of having
you're
to work
giving.
for somebody.
I feel like you guys are giving the corporate world too much shit.
Too
No hate,
Cause
no
too much
shade. That's
shit.
what I said. Like,
No.
no,
so
no, no. I feel like there's some form of freedom in the corporate world depending on
Mhm.
what you want to do. Because there are
Mhm.
creative jobs within the corporate world, right?
That's true.
So
That's true.
and even like I feel like to learn more, you need to make more mistakes and know where you're going wrong.
Mhm.
Because there are certain things that you can't learn by yourself. So
Mhm.
even if you're doing a corporate job or like a corporate internship, it's a good way to learn.
Yeah. Even if it's like a
where you can
corporate
improve.
workplace, it just depends on which
Mm,
industry, which company is it,
yeah.
Yeah,
what are they doing.
See,
it's
when
a
I
big
said I'm
paintbrush you guys are brushing.
yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm scared of the corporate world. I'm just saying I'm scared of jobs like the corporate world, like where you're on a desk every day, all day. That's what I don't want. Like,
Where you don't
I
want a
think
desk?
see,
I think the three of us just
I don't
don't
want a
want
desk.
I think the three of us just don't want monotony. We're
Yeah,
sort of
that's
we
that's
don't
the
want
word,
that.
monotony.
Yeah. We don't want a
Thank you.
monotonous life. We don't want a monotonous job. We want a certain
We
freedom.
want
We
to
want
be
certain fun
dynamic,
in a way.
but like at at this currently, I feel like nobody really wants monotony. Like with experience, my friends and like people at LinkedIn or on Instagram, nobody really wants to live a monotonous life. But at the end, you have to make sacrifices, and you end up conforming to okay what you can get, like a
Mm-hmm.
stable job if it's keeping your if it keeping your if it's giving you financial security or like helping you in any way, you conform to it, and at the end you end up not minding living that life. And I can confidently say I I can't conform to such life, but we'll see. I'm still young.
Yeah. I think
20.
I mean money is important whether we really want to do anything fun, anything. I get it. We're creative. We don't want monotony. But real life strikes. We're gonna need the money. We'll have to do things that might just.
You don't want that monotonous life. I think we're still stuck here for like the
Mm,
past 10 minutes.
I know. Should we move on to the new topic? Okay, we've had too much of monotony anyway.
yeah, we don't like
And
monotony.
one fun thing about what coronavirus has taught all of
One
us,
thing, how insensitive.
of course, multiple things, but one thing is that we had to take a lot of things into our own hands. So whenever things got monotonous for us, it sort of pushed all of us to try so many new things and sort of break that monotony in any way possible. We'd also like call each other up and say, "What did you do today?" It would be as simple as trying new kinds of milk. And I even went to try almond milk to oat milk. Like it could be anything. So I think
I
when
don't
it,
even like milk.
yeah, but
I,
this,
I gag at the
mhm.
smell of milk.
That's the
Remember
thing.
when we
Like,
were kids, we had like we didn't have we had milk bags. Like I don't know if
Suckers.
I didn't like milk bags at all, but it tastes different than the Tetra packs that we have now, which is to it just tasted different. And then you had to
mhm.
boil the milk, and then it just
Bleh.
tasted weird. I can
Milk.
have like I didn't even like it with cereal. I liked it with like the Tetra pack
Bleh.
milk.
Mhm.
Milk. I like
Would you
milk
Yeah.
have
with
your
milk with
cereal with?
cereal though.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like milk with cereal because at least the smell of cornflakes or like Cheerios or like Chocos at least takes the smell of milk away, and I put some sugar in the milk as well. And what I
You
do
put
is
extra sugar in your milk when you
I
have
pour the
cereal.
milk out. I pour the milk out. I put sugar. I microwave it. I mix the sugar and the milk, and then I put
Mm.
the cereal, and then I like
I
dip all of the cereal into the milk, and
Wait,
I make it soggy and eat it.
you're a milk before cereal person?
Milk before cereal is normal.
It's
okay. Okay. Ooh,
okay.
things are getting heated up in here.
I've even known you all my life and I didn't know this, but okay.
uh, well.
What did you learn though? You were gonna say what you learned during
Oh
Corona.
yeah. Oh wow. We just like went from coronavirus to milk. Okay. No, I was just saying that it will be interesting to see how, I don't know, if this thing dies down a little bit, if there's a certain degree of normal we can bring back, or we're gonna live again in the next year or so.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
surprisingly, New Delhi is pretty normal.
See, the thing is, it
Mhm.
people act like it's normal, but the thing is, cases are
Really,
rising so much right now, especially the last week or so. It's been so bad. But then if you go around, everyone's just like out and about, and it looks like any other day. And
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that there's a pandemic going on, except for the fact that everyone's wearing masks. You won't think that there's a pandemic going on because everyone's out. Like roads traffic is back. Like remember in the beginning of the pandemic, like the
in the
roads were so
beginning,
in the beginning, the roads were so
In the
empty
beginning.
and like there was no traffic, and now there's traffic again
I mean, now
because
it seems
everyone's
more
out.
normal because now that the pollution is back, people are wearing
Oh my
masks
god.
already. And last year, during this time when the pollution was on, people would wear masks anyway. So it feels like any other November. The only change is that like
You have to put on
there's no
sanitizer
college. We
whenever.
don't have to, yeah, and we
Yeah.
don't have to go to college.
Mm.
But you live and you learn.
But
Let's hope things
Delhi,
get
Yeah.
better.
hope I don't know about Delhi getting any better anytime soon, or if the next year will be any better, but there's hoping. But yeah, I feel like we're gonna experience our whole last year of our third year of college in this
I mean,
online class and
in
not seeing.
Russia, fans were in the stadium already. The other night I was watching a Champions League game and fans were already in the stadium because they had Russia has a vaccine apparently. I mean, I guess they
Yeah.
do because
Mm-hmm.
now that fans are in the stadiums. But you will see. I hope the vaccine should come out soon. I hope you've got
Yeah.
AstraZeneca or something like that, the Oxford vaccine leading the way, and let's see. Let's hope.
That's so
But
interesting. Just
mm,
like Russia is like they have their own vaccine, they're just living their own life. And funnily enough, even New Zealand, because they controlled it so well, everything is so normal back there. It's like Corona never happened in New Zealand. They're
I
all
saw this.
having concerts.
Yeah, I saw this reel, and then it was like one girl. She was like, uh, she was in New Zealand, and she was at a party, and I'm like,
Exactly.
wow.
I mean, Delhi has parties. I've been to a few Delhi. Wait, I haven't. I
Mm-mm.
haven't. I haven't. I have not. Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, I have not.
Never goes to parties.
Never
I stay
ever.
home. I study. I read. I
He drinks coffee.
I drink coffee.
He's a very good bad boy.
I am a very good bad boy.
Bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was
that's.
gist of how Corona has been to
Mm.
us.
But speaking of parents, it's also in one of our prompts, like living away and with parents.
See,
I
you
And
haven't
like,
have
lived away from my parents ever.
ever, but you have
It's like
more.
it's like they're following me, you know?
but that's so funny. Like you just said, yeah. Oh no, I just stay at home. Mom and dad, if you're watching this. For me, even I just realized, oh yeah, okay. Because when I went back, I mean, my parents know if I go out whenever I go out. But it's like when I came back last year for Christmas and New Year, it was a little like weird, let's say, because I'd be like, I don't know if I can go out. I don't know if I can have my friends over this late. And it was just like a very weird transition, just even for like those few weeks that I was there.
You're coming back this year, right? Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the winters.
Hmm.
yeah. She's coming back
Yay.
while we're having exams, but she's gonna have to be home quarantined. So we'll be done with our exams by the time
Why will she be home quarantined?
so she's coming back by flight.
Okay.
So she
So
Mm,
needs
I
to be
will
quarantined.
quarantine at home for a few days, but I need to get a test done here so that they'll allow me to quarantine at home. Otherwise, I think they'll take me somewhere else.
They'll either take you to the government one, which is like I
Mm.
think free or cheaper, or you have to pay extra, which will be a lot, and quarantine at a five-star hotel, which will cost a lot.
Hmm, that's true. But I think I can just home quarantine, which is obviously what I would want because I do
Can
have
I
just a few days.
can I come over?
We can
Yeah,
talk to
sure.
her from the door. Like she'll be at the other side of the door, be on the other side of the door, but we have to be 6 feet apart and wear masks and talk like that.
That's how we'll record the next few episodes of our podcast via home quarantine.
Mm, okay. I'm kind of sleepy, not gonna lie.
It's
We're
2
recording a
a.m.
podcast at 2 a.m. because
Mm.
Joy is a she's
Joy.
a she's a
Hmm.
Shein.
Huh?
She's
What?
making Shein La Shein.
Ah, okay.
And she's making us stay up this late to record a podcast because
I'm not making you guys
it's
stay up this late.
it's convenient for her because she's in the Netherlands right now and she wants us to
We
just
had to adjust to her timing.
All right.
Her timing.
because she's the one
Mm.
with the YouTube channel.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. Oh, here we go again.
I've got 2 subscribers. Haha.
Mm-hmm. Boo-hoo. Well, it's also because it's quiet for you guys at night too, because you guys still live with your
But
folks.
not just at 2 a.m.
Wait. Okay, I think we should wrap up though.
Wrap up.
Wrap
How,
up.
how do you wrap up a podcast? I've never reached the end of a podcast. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
Uh,
like let us know if you want to
Bye
hear
bye.
anything else. Yes,
Bye bye.
we're
you
gonna
know,
wrap this up.
that's too wrapped up too quickly. Like, we have to end our conversation. Like, give a gist of what all we just said.
Yes,
We said a
not
lot of
just
things,
say
though.
kamu talk and just
Yeah.
like go.
I'm sleepy, bro. Like I want to sleep.
Okay.
So podcast over. I'm gonna sleep.
So we talked about a lot of things today. This
Hmm.
is what most of our podcasts are going to be like, us talking a lot. And I
Hmm.
hope y'all still listen when we're talking about a lot of stuff. Hope y'all are not
Hmm.
bored. And
I
hopefully next
mean,
time we have an interesting person to talk to.
an interesting guest. Wow.
Wonder who
Yes.
it is.
And we hope that the next few podcasts will also be a little bit more structured instead of just having like I mean as much as we'd like the flow of a conversation, I think it's better to still try to keep a structure about it so that we don't just keep going on and on and on. But yeah, hopefully having
We go on and end up at Philip's feet.
Oh no.
Ah,
Well,
but
that's an inside joke. If
mhm,
you stay long enough and listen to our podcast, you will understand it pretty clearly.
yes,
So
you
stay
will
tuned.
know the mysteries of Philip's feet. But
100 subscribers, and we will talk about Philip's speech.
Yep, like Philip's
yes,
feet gets a dedicated episode.
it's a whole adventure. So do subscribe. Do sarakarakai.
Yeah, I think we're planning to put the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple
Apple
Podcasts if we
Podcasts.
can. I think we
Hmm.
can.
Yeah, and you can review on Apple Podcasts. So, like, y'all give us nice reviews and rate us, give us 5-star ratings. Whoever does that will get a shout out. So,
Yeah. She's lying.
I will give you a shout out.
I mean, we probably need a shout out from you more than you want from us. So please shout us out and not the other way
Instead,
around.
please.
Yeah, please.
But yes, thank you for staying with us this long. If you are still listening, thank you. And yeah, for our next podcast, we do have a guest in mind. Do we reveal that? And do we?
No.
Wait, we haven't
No.
even spoken to our
Wait.
guest about this. Like, we're like,
No, no,
hey,
no.
we're gonna do.
Do we reveal that? Because then what if they wanna ask a few things, we will, or do we just do
Don't.
We
that?
will post it on our
No.
socials and
I think it's
Okay,
important that we don't reveal our marketing techniques because they will
yeah,
copy us.
yeah,
okay, okay. So we just
They
do it
will
whenever we
copy.
get them, Tina.
yeah.
All right.
Ay,
Co-
Instagram
they
will
will
akan post
copy our
nga.
techniques.
Instagram will akan post nga and like,
All right.
hopefully we get like that
Okay.
interaction
Wait,
naman.
kanzo to podcast kan record
No,
to.
Yes. Wait, we have to say bye.
bye.
Oh shit, we
Yeah,
haven't concluded the podcast.
yeah. Yeah,
Goodbye. I'm
yeah.
sleeping.
So thank you for joining us. Vandal sleepy now. Bye. That's it.
Bye. Thank you for staying this
Thank you
long.
for listening. Vandal's gonna go to sleep now.
Good
Black.
night, everybody. Bye bye.